Hi guys, and welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to be doing an idiot's guide to bleeding brakes. So I'm Fran, I'm the idiot, and these are my brakes, the Shimano Saints. I have just been on a couple of weeks trip around Europe, so they are well overdue a service. I will be cleaning them as well, and I'll show you step by step how to do all of it. First and foremost though, I feel really bad. My mum's gone on holiday for a couple of weeks and I'm house sitting. She's asked me to look after her plants. I think I nailed it. The first step is going to be removing this rear wheel because we're going to do the back one first. The next thing that we're going to do is remove the brake pads from in there. So I'm going to do that now off camera because I've got no one to hold it, but if you don't know how to remove brake pads, there is a little clip here. You take that out, you unscrew this bolt here. I believe it's like a 3mm, maybe a 2, who knows, 3, we'll go 3. And yeah, then they just slide right on out. Brake pads, they are now out. As you can see, the pistons, they are a little bit dirty, and I had a sticky piston when I was out in the Alps, so this isn't like something that you need to do every time you bleed your brakes, but I do it because it's just good practice to do it. What I'm going to do is my back brake lever, so my left one, I'm going to gently just creep those pistons out. I can see what they're doing on the back of the bike. You don't want to pull them out all the way. A little bit more than that though. So I've crept the pistons out. As you can see, some of them are sticking out slightly further than others, and there's like loads of gunk build up around them. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to clean that all out. My trusty Juice Lubes bike cleaner. So I'm going to spray that on in there. That's not going to do any damage to it because it's a specific bike cleaner, and we are going to grease them up a little bit afterwards, and I'll show you that step in a minute, but for now I'm going to clean them. These are looking much cleaner. All I did was take a bit of, well, you can take blue roll, bit of cloth, whatever, just don't use your mum's best tea towel, and give them a good clean up. The next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to get the Juice Lubes. This is literally just like an anti-stiction spray, and I am going to spray it in there just around to lubricate the pistons. Don't panic though. This is why we took the brake pads out, because we don't want them to get contaminated, so they're over there away from absolutely everything. My pistons do get a little bit sticky, so lubricating them a little bit, and then what we do is we get a tyre lever. I'll try and film it. I need 2 hands, but you push them back in with this. That will push back in now, and obviously because there is a anti-stiction like lubricant on there, we're going to go ahead and we're going to clean them again with the bike spray just to get any of that off. And be quite thorough with this bit because you don't want any of that stuff getting on your pads. You just want it to lubricate your pistons a little bit, not your brake pads, or you will die. That's all done. That's all clean in there, literally no lubricant left on there whatsoever. It's purely the bits that I've pushed back in that are lubricated, so we're fine. Oh my god, there's a wasp! We're ready to move on to the next step. So we go over to the handlebars, take a 4mm Allen key, and we're just going to want to move that lever vertically up in front of us, like so. The reason that we're doing this is because the bolt to do the bleeding, it is straight on top there, so when we sit the reservoir on it in a minute, it's not going to be like tipping either way, it's going to be stable. Next we're going to take a 2mm Allen key, and we're going to take this bit off here. I'll try and do it on camera. Oh, there we go. Right. I cannot stress enough, do not lose this. I have lost one before. Keep it somewhere very safe, away from everything, away from cats, children, dogs, anything. Just keep it safe. Next thing we're going to do, we're going to take this funnel and screw it straight on top here. Once again, I'm going to try to film it because I can't seem to set my tripod up today, so we're doing everything by hand. We want that nice and securely on there. We're going to take our Shimano mineral oil and we're going to fill this. I need enough to do a full bleed, so I'm going to literally, probably that should be enough, about that much. And then we move on to the next step. Okay, right, so hear me out, because this is where my way differs a little bit from what you're supposed to do. But I found this way so much easier, no air bubbles, and just works, and it's so easy. So hear me out. I've got an empty bottle. This is the air line for a fish tank, and this is a tube clamp. So what you want to do, you want to get your tube clamp and your air hose thing and pop it over your bleed nipple. I need to show you the bleed nipple. That is a bleed nipple. Okay, and that's securely on. Next, you're going to want to take your bottle. Here we've got Buxton Sparkling, but you know, you can just take any bottle you want. I prefer to use a clear one so you can see all the crap that comes out and see when it starts to run clear as well. So you just put that directly underneath with your thingy there. Thingy. Airline hose. Then literally all you want to do is undo this and you can watch all the crap come up through. This is going to take some time, just while it, you know, gets going. You can see all of the dark liquid coming through there, and that's going to make its way down into the bottle. While it's coming through, don't press your brakes, don't press anything, just let that liquid come through clear. Once that's undone, you can see the colour of the liquid coming out there. That's absolutely disgusting. I've not bled these since Whistler last year. I just keep changing the pads, so it's about time they had a service. But it's coming straight through from there, through there. So technically speaking, with this method, I find that I don't really get any air bubbles in it because gravity's just doing its thing. It's just going from one end to the other. So as long as you keep an eye and make sure that that reservoir doesn't empty, then you should be absolutely golden. You just flush the whole system straight through. I don't know if you can tell, but that's pretty much coming through clear now. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and just close that up. So you don't need to do it mad tight. We only undid it half a turn. That's that bit pretty much done. So now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to remove the tube clamp and the airline from there. Here you go. That's so gross. That's what came out of it. Yum. So they were due a bleed for sure. Next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to put that rear wheel back on, put the pads back in. So I'll time lapse that for you. I've left the reservoir on because what we're going to do now is just tug on this for a while until it goes hard, because that's going to bring your pistons back out, and any little air bubbles that you see are going to come to the surface from here. So you literally stand here pumping like an idiot until that stops. But there's not very many, because like I said, with the method that I used, you don't really seem to get as many as like the other way, or I find anyway. Another thing that I do is I go along flicking looks so pointless, but this is an idiot's guide. So yeah, flicking the hose all along your frame so that if there are, oh, I just flicked my disc. Don't flick your disc. This helps to get any air bubbles to the top, or so I'm told. Maybe whoever taught me that just wanted me to look like an absolute monk. Oh no, some came to the top, see? That works. Do that, flick things. Another thing that you can do if you are getting air bubbles or like you want the best feel for your brake, you can put a cable tie around there and just hold it there for ages and like just leave it for an hour. I'm pretty happy with mine, to be honest, and I don't have a cable tie. I'm pretty happy with that. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to take this off, but this is where the idiot guide becomes more idiot-y. I've lost the plug for this. We're going to use a cotton bud and I'm going to stick it in that hole while I undo it. So you get the correct tool for the job and not a cotton bud, but just so you can see what I'm doing. I'm going to stick that in that hole so that the liquid doesn't go absolutely everywhere. And we're going to unscrew it for 3 years and then it comes off. Then we're going to take our little screw that we had earlier and just put that back on the lever and do it up finger tight. Don't go mental, because if you round that off, you're screwed. Then we move our brake into what we think is the right position, which is never right until you ride again, but just guess kind of where the other one is. And about that sort of general area, I think. Then clean any excess oil from around your levers and stuff, because there will be a little bit if you use a cotton bud to take it off. Generally do in this situation is just make sure that your caliper's aligned now that you've, you know, bled it, crept your pistons out, all the rest of it. I've just I've spun mine around off camera. It's actually dead center, but if you did need to move your calipers to get them to align with your disc, all you've got to do is there's a bolt here, they're 5mm. Undo both of those. The easiest way to do it is to pull on your brake and then tighten them up, and that kind of puts it in the middle. But personally I do it by eye, and it's by eyes. I do it by eye. It tends to be a little bit easier because like you can kind of see where the gap is, where your disc is or whatever. Just put your caliper in the middle of it. You can wiggle it around, tighten them up. Job's a good one. Just in case you're interested, that's what came out of them. Absolutely disgusting. And this is what colour it's meant to be. Yeah. So that's why we bleed our brakes. So yeah, I hope you've enjoyed the video. If you have enjoyed it, give it a thumbs up, put a little comment below and let me know what other videos that you'd like to see. But I don't know what I'll be uploading next. I've still got loads of content to put out from the Europe trip, so that'll be coming. I'm also going to Woody's bike park this weekend. When you're seeing this, I might have already been, but yeah. If you like the content, subscribe to the channel and I will see you in the next video.